Hello, bass players. Very nice to see you. Okay, so today we're going to do the warm-up, the setup and the warm-up of the bass. Now, if you have your bass at home, which you all do, you're going to pull out your end pin if you need to. So probably, let's see. I would say, Grayson, you don't need to, unless okay, so let's start with the first thing. So this is Mr. Ells' bass. I think it's a 3/4. Oh yeah. Oh, I take that back. It's a 5/8. This is not what I usually use. So a 5/8. So basses are unique in that, but there are full size, but they're almost never played. So 7/8 is usually the biggest. This is a 5/8 bass. Okay, so it's a little bit big for me even. Okay, so I'm not going to pull out the end pin. But for those of you that don't have that, and you are getting tall, all right, so Ava, Mitch, Jocelyn's getting taller, so you may be able, because you have a quarter size, I think, right? So you'll want to pull out the end pin so that when you hold the bass, because we're all standing, all right, so when we hold the bass, the end pin right here, not the end pin, excuse me, the pegs are right by your ear, all right? So remember, you want to keep your bass solid, all right? So if you let it go, right, it's still being held. Okay, so it's got to dig it right into your hip, all right? If you leave it free form, that's a great way to break your bass. And as you know, we don't have a lot of basses, okay? So plus with the current climate, we want to be careful of our lovely bass, all right? It's not its fault. Look how beautiful it is. And by the way, look how beautiful this thing is. Ooh, so shiny. Okay. I never get to use this, so I'm very excited about it. All right, so we're going to make sure that our bass is ready. If you need to pull the end pin out, remember you go lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, all right, is the golden rule, okay? So you want to loosen just a little bit. Don't loosen too much. And then you're going to pull out the end pin as many clicks as you need. I would say probably, I mean, you guys know what you need to do, but probably no more than 3 or 4 at the most. Little spots. And then you're going to tighten it back up, and you're going to be like diligent about it. So make sure it's really strong tightening. So righty-tighty, all right? So that when it's up here and we're ready to play, it doesn't all of a sudden drop on you, which I know has happened. Okay, what I'm standing on, you can't really see it, is a carpet. So if you have a carpet, that'll help your bass from, falling or slipping while you're playing. Something I know, since you're at home, you probably more easily can find it. So just making sure we all have these little tricks if we haven't been using them already. And then you're going to take out your bow, and we're going to rosin our bow. Now, I just want to show you this because it's cool. And again, I don't get to use Mr. Ells' bass very often, so this is a treat for me. But when you get your own bass case and everything, you can have your own super cool place to put your bow. So he doesn't just put his bow in the case. He also has a little thing for it. So it's safe, protected, wherever it goes. So I just think that's cool. Anyway, then you're going to rosin the bow, same way we do at school. Okay, except for you guys, it's going to go just up one direction. All right? And sadly, I don't know where the bass rosin is at this time. Here, which is crazy. But there you go. So pretend you have your bass rosin at home. So make sure you go up one direction. You're going to go 10 times. And before you do that, make sure you're tightening your bow. Okay, and you want to make sure, this is a little different from when I tell my violin players. We can do the pencil test, but it really should be a little bit tighter than that even. So make sure there's a curve on your stick. All right, so if it's too tight, let me show you what's too tight, and I've seen this before. It's going to actually break your hair, so we don't want to do that. So this is too much, and then I've seen overextended basses, so bass bows. All right, so the tighter you go, the harder it is to play. So we want to make sure there's a curve on our stick, like this. All right, and it's not really that far away. Okay, you could probably fit like 2 pencils. Okay, so I can fit 2 pencils through it, and that should be about enough. Okay, then we're gonna rosin 10 times. And your setup is important as well, just like every other instrument. All right, so you want to make sure the bass is dug into your hip. Okay, it's solidly planted there. You're going to have the pegs right by your head, okay? And you don't want to be standing like this. This is a great way for the bass to fall over, which is not good. We don't want that, all right? When you play, now we're working on our bow grips, we want to make sure all of our fingers are down. I know I was teaching you guys, at least in 4th grade, right? It was over this way. We're going to move our fingers back to the frog. Okay, now this doesn't have an eye, this frog. But we're going to cover the frog, this black part, with all of our fingers. And then I want you to tilt your hand, all right, so that most of the weight is on your pointer finger. So when we're playing, we're actually leaning our hand. Okay, I'll move my sleeve up so you can see. Leaning the weight of our hand and our arm into the pointer finger. I've seen other things going on. This is a bad idea. Do not do this. Okay. Sometimes we do that Suzuki bow grip. I've seen that. That's sort of okay. All right. But we want to make sure to get the best sound and to get the most out of our giant awesome strings, because we're bass players and it's super cool. Okay, so what we're going to do when we warm up, we're going to really watch our bow grips, do the best we can with that, and we're going to play the D major scale in String Basics Book 1. Okay, so it's page 21. It's the D major scale. So I'm going to do 3 variations, all right, and the first one is going to be 4 quarter notes, Ds, 2 half note E's, 4 quarter note F sharps, 2 half note G's. Now for you guys, that means we're going to do the shift, okay, like we're used to. So we're going to shift to the 3rd. It's going to be interesting for me because usually I have tapes. Mr. Ells doesn't have tapes. So make sure when you're shifting that you're going to the right spot, since you do have your tapes. Lucky you. All right, and that we want to make sure we don't have to have the tips of our fingers for left hands, okay? That's our violin and viola friends. But we want to make sure we have the C, okay, that we're cupping the string, okay? We don't want to just collapse our hand, all right? Our elbow's got to be out a bit. Not this way. That's too much. Don't do that, okay? And we don't want to collapse our hand on the neck and the fingerboard, all right? So we want our good posture as best we can. All right. Let me just make sure. Okay, so I'm going to count you in, and we'll start with the rhythm that's found on page 21 for the D major scale. So go 1, 2, ready, play. Original rhythm for the D major scale on page 21. So the next thing I want to do is half notes. All right, now you'll notice for basses, usually I say full bows and everything for everyone. So for basses, you don't have to do as much. For half notes, yes. But I would say, I don't know, go to maybe 3/4. All right, and really focus on being as straight as possible with the bow. So that means my bow runs parallel to the bridge. If you find that it's diagonal, that's the sound that you'll get. You hear that sound? Ooh. Sometimes I hear it. What about this way? Right? Is it parallel? No, it's going to hit the bridge eventually. You see that? Okay. So we want as straight as possible. And I have mixed success sometimes. Right? So it's a work in progress, but that's always the goal. Okay. So we're going to do 2 half-note Ds, 2 half-note Es, 2 half-note F sharps, etc., etc. So still the D scale, but different rhythm. All right, I'll count you in. I'll go 1, 2, ready, play. Variation of the D major scale, I'm going to do the Mississippi hot dog rhythm. Okay, so if you remember what that is, or the pepperoni pizza, for those of you that have the music, pepperoni pizza. Okay, so that's the fun way of saying 4 eighth notes and 2 quarter notes, right? So we're going to do that one. Right, it's an eighth note. Every eighth note is worth half a beat. So we're going to go 4 eighth note Ds and 2 quarter note Ds. Okay, so 6 Ds, 6 Es. When you play with eighth notes, how much bow am I using? Not a lot of bow. Very small amount. I like to go toward the frog. I kind of live in the frog anyway, but I definitely live in the frog for the bass. Okay, so we're going to go all the way up, all the way down. And even for the quarter notes, I'm going staccato. So I'm going to go short bows. All right, so we're not going to do a lot of bow. Not a lot of bow this way. All right, dig into the string. All right, make sure you push in. Use all the weight as much as possible on the pointer fingers, as straight as you can. All right, and if you find that it's sounding a little bit funky, adjust the bow a little bit. All right, take some time. So let's play along with the Mississippi hot dog D scale. 1 and 2 and ready, go. And that's how I would like you to warm up every time. Thanks for watching.